What's going on, everybody? This is Scott, also known as ChaChingKing. Just dropped off Melody back in Temple. I'm on the back road home. Like I've said before, by far the best leg of the trip. 90% of it out in the middle of nowhere. Nice and slow drive. So today, you know what I thought I'd talk about? Something came up a couple of weeks ago, and somebody was asking, why do I do this? Like, why reselling? And I think that's a fair question, because I think you could probably make more money doing something other than what I do. So just a little bit of background. Some of the jobs that I have had right out of high school, I got a job managing foot action in the Temple Mall. And I could go back to retail quite easily, especially this time of year, it'd be super easy. And in between working at Foot Action and when I graduated college, I ran the family business. Melody's parents owned Temple Blueprint and Temple Civil Engineering. So for several years, I ran that company. I ran the Blueprint company. And it was a traditional brick and mortar store. We ordered a lot of white label stuff. We had a lot of stuff that was branded for Temple Blueprint that we sold. And I could certainly do that. I could do the white label thing, or I could run a brick and mortar store again. And when I graduated school, I taught elementary school. And I will say that was the first job I had that, man, I loved it. I loved teaching. I was fortunate that I always had really good kids and a really good school. So the thought of going back into the classroom is really about the only thing I find super tempting. Even that, I probably wouldn't make as much as I do part-time as a reseller, but with my experience and all, I'm sure I'd make 60 grand a year. I spent a long time as a principal, about 5 years, but the last 12 years of my career, I was a school superintendent. And there is a real shortage of superintendents that are qualified. And I could go back to that and actually make decent money. Like I would think at a minimum, I would make 150 a year. I would think at a minimum. And while I liked the job, I don't think I could ever duplicate what I had. I had a school district full of really good kids. I had really good kids. I assembled a really good staff. I had a school board that never once asked me to do anything that wasn't what was best for kids. We didn't always agree on what was best for kids, but I didn't ever have to deal with anybody that was there for some kind of personal agenda. Everybody on my board throughout all 12 years actually cared what was best for kids. So I don't know if I could duplicate that by going somewhere else. The other thing you lose by that is, as a superintendent, they were legit 60 to 70 hour weeks every week, and you're basically never off, especially in a small district, because there's not people to delegate to. It's just you. So why reselling? There's so many things that I could do. I could have kept the Blueprint company. Like, I could have just had it. It had been open from 71 till I closed it in 2016. So why reselling? There are several reasons why reselling is where Melody and I have landed, and we really, truly have no desire to do something else. So first of all, the money. Let's talk about the money. We make gross $50,000 or $60,000 a year. We made much more before I started YouTube, but we gross $50,000 or $60,000 a year, maybe a little bit more than that. And that's really, truly working part-time. We're not working full-time. Just like right now, it's about 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. Melody and I went down to visit her parents. She's going to help her mom go to a doctor's appointment. And if I were to say sign up for a regular job, whether that's a teacher or a superintendent or my own brick and mortar store, I would immediately lose the flexibility of time that I have now. That wouldn't always work. If I were a 30-year-old man, that probably wouldn't work, because I would be at a stage in life where I would have to maximize my income some. You just have to, because you have responsibilities. I am retired from education, so I can run my business without having to focus solely on how much money I bring in every single day. I don't run the business that way. You guys have heard me from day one. My business is, of course, built around making money, but it's also built around giving back to the people in the community that I live in and helping other people out and lifting other people up. It's the reason that I do YouTube, because it really truly gives me some of that teacher feeling back, that I might actually be helping somebody. The other thing that reselling does for us is reselling is a blast. Like, we genuinely enjoy that discovery. When you go and you get a private estate sale that you get to go through, or you buy a storage locker, and you get that opportunity to learn about all of these things that you may have never come across in your regular life. It's both of us are lifelong learners, and we truly love the process of learning. And so reselling, if you do it right, is this constant learning curve, which excites both of us. And of course, there's the treasure hunt. It is truly fun to open something that hadn't been opened in a while and just see what's in it. We both truly love that, and you get to do that. The other thing that reselling gives us is it does give us an income. And it's still today, it is the income that we have the most control over. I don't need to bring in a ton of money every month doing what I do because I'm retired. But I'm also, and if you're close to my age, you'll know what this means, I'm in the gap insurance-wise. We don't qualify for Social Security. We don't qualify for Medicare. And I'm not employed at the school district, so I'm on the Texas Teacher Retirement System insurance. And it is 4 pounds of crap in a 3-pound bag. It is awful insurance. It costs a lot, and it doesn't cover anything. So I still need an income. And plus, I support my mom. We help with Melody's parents. And reselling does that in spades. It allows us to make, minimum, I would say $3,000, $4,000 a month. But if I wanted to make $10,000 next month, I absolutely can. I can just quit doing YouTube for 1 month, focus on listing stuff, and easily could raise my income. So it's not just flexibility of time. I have this tremendous earning potential whenever I need it. That is something you wouldn't get with another job. Of course, another job would pay consistently because you'd have to work consistently, which I don't have to do right now. I guess the last part of it for me is that we truly help other people with what we do. I have a guy that I've been working with. I bought a couple of his storage lockers, and I've been able to return some stuff to him that if anybody else would have got it, I think he would have lost his stuff. I'm working with him, and I think it'll happen, to get a couple more of his storage lockers, and I will do my very best because I know I have a lot better idea what's in those things, and it's going to be incredible stuff again that I will pay far more than anybody else would bid on it because I have the inside track. And then there's a security, I think, on his part, that if I come across something exceptionally valuable, I would return it to him. And we get to do that quite a bit, where we salvage things that's maybe not the right word. We find things that really belong at home with somebody. And we've returned a lot of those kind of things. And we both get a lot of joy out of that. If you've never watched it, I did a video, it's been a couple of years ago now, about my best sales. And I don't remember how many were in it, 10 or 15 sales that I made nothing on collectively. I think one of them, I actually got $100 for a jacket that should have been worth $1,000, but I got it back to the family. But it's my favorite finds. I'll put a link to that video because it's hard for me to talk about it without just being overwhelmed with gratitude for what we get to do. So many different things that we've returned to people. And like, that's huge. That's huge for us. There's a real purpose to that. I've had people say that, reselling isn't a business, especially the way you do it. They said that isn't what a business is about. It's about making money. And I would argue that it wouldn't be a business for them because they don't have the same purpose. This whole business that we run isn't centered around just making money. Of course we want to make money, but that is not the only goal, nor do I think that has to be the only goal in order for something to be a legitimate business. This is a legitimate business. I treat it like a business, but it's a business with goals that extend beyond just our immediate family. And we try to help as many people as we possibly can while getting to do what we love and earning an income. So that's the reason I haven't gone back to being a superintendent. Flexibility of time it just doesn't work with the stage that our parents are at in life, and we want to be there with them. And Melody and I have got to travel a lot more this year, which when we travel, we thrift, we go to garage sales and estate sales. That's what we do. But we've had more time to do that. We get to spend a lot more time together. And I don't know how you can put a price on that when you have a choice. So what does it mean for you? Would reselling work for you? You couldn't do it like I do it 100% unless you have other money coming in, because I don't work that hard at it. I'm not putting in 8-hour days reselling. Hardly ever. I do some, but that is not the rule. That would be the exception to the rule. But my wages per hour for this business are exceptionally good. So could somebody make a full-time income at this? I know that it's difficult for you to watch YouTube and to see these things, and you wonder, is it an income? And it is an income. I think the big thing that trips people up is that if you just watch my best sales, it looks like easy money. And the reality of it is, it isn't easy money. If my videos have ever given anybody that impression, then that's on me, because that's not the message I want to send. This isn't easy money, but it is consistent money if you treat it like a consistent job. So could you replace a full-time income? I think that if you wanted to do $100,000 a year and you were willing to work and you were willing to learn and continue improving at this job, $100,000 a year is certainly within reason. For a lot of the people watching my channel, they're not aiming at $100,000 a year. It's people just wanting to close the gap between where they are and where they need to be. And if you're looking to make up, say, $1,000 a month, I know you can do that without working full time, because I blow by that working. I would say we're doing right now, especially the last couple of months, I would say we're doing 10 to 15 hours a week because we've just got family stuff going on. What this reselling business provides is complete control over my life. And if we're talking about what you want to get out of a business, I think that's really valuable. Yes, there are things you could do to build something massive, have other people run it, where all you're doing is controlling people and making much more money. That's not what I built my business to do. It's absolutely still a business because I do all of the business things. I just keep it at a scale that allows us to live the life we want to live. So when you work towards doing what we do or deciding if this is what you want to do, remember, it's not easy. It's still work. It's a business that you can control. And I would tell you to, before you dive in, the first thing you need to sit down and do is decide, what do you want this business to do for you? Not just if you want to do the business, what do you want to get out of this business? For us, income. We need an income. And then we want to spend time together. We want time to take care of our family. And we want the ability to help the other people that we come across in our daily lives. That's what our business is built around. You don't have to build your business with the same goals that we have for yours to be a real business. But you do need to decide what you want to get out of it, because what you put into it will change drastically based on what you're trying to pull out of it. If I were 30 and I didn't have a retirement and I had the responsibility of my family and extended family, I would be crushing it every day. I would be doing the same thing I did when I was in education. I would be working 10 or 12 hours a day, 6 days a week at least, trying to build up a future. So you also have to assess where you're at in life when you're deciding what you want to get out of your business. Why did I choose reselling? This business gives me control over my life. It provides everything that I want out of a business and more. And I'm just super, super thankful for it. I don't know if a talk like this is valuable to you or not. I hope that it is. I think maybe I'm the one getting the value out of it because I get to sit back and think about some of these things out loud that I'm super, super grateful for. And I hope that if you dive into this or you go in a different route, I truly hope that you find a path for you that makes you as grateful as I am for the path that we're on. That's it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching every single time. I'm going to see you real soon on the next one. Bye.